Democratic and Republican parties in this state have filed ethics complaints against the senator and the speaker, claiming they benefited financially from votes they cast in the Senate and the State House. Do you think your two opponents cast those votes knowing they would benefit financially from them?
Well, I can't really quite say that precisely. I do find it fascinating that people are willing to spend upwards of $50 million or more to try to get somebody elected to a job that only pays $170,000 a year. And that tells you what is at stake here in this election, that it is easier for these kinds of forces in our society, these corporate special interests, to pay out that money to try to influence our elections rather than trying to spend the money required to convince millions of Americans individually that it's worth our time to give them our money and keep them in business or help them do whatever they're going to do. We just allow one-stop shopping right now because of all the centralized control in Washington, and we need to decentralize the government, return a lot of matters to the states and the people, and that will help break that special interest control in Washington.
Senator Hagan, 60 seconds.
You know, John, I have no role in my husband's business. I've got a job that keeps me pretty busy. And, you know, when I look at this issue, it's incredulous to me that Speaker Tillis is attacking me on this issue when, in fact, the same Recovery Act tax credits that he's attacking me on, he benefited on one of his investments. You know, I had no part, and my office had no part in this grants awarding process. Hundreds of companies across North Carolina applied for and received similar grants. What I did ask was for my husband to get the opinion of an ethics attorney to be sure this was appropriate. He did so, and the lawyer said it was appropriate. So once again, this is a baseless attack that Speaker Tillis is hitting me on when he voted for these same Recovery Act tax credits and benefited.
Do you think he knowingly voted for them, or voted for them knowing he would profit financially?
You know, I think there's some other issues that there's an allegation on some real estate issues.
All right, I just wanted to seek clarification. Speaker Tillis, 60 seconds.
Senator Hagan, I never voted for stimulus. You did. You voted for it in 2009, and your family benefited through a $390,000 check to a family business. That's a reality. And John, incidentally, the bill that you were referring to never got heard in a committee. In fact, the town withdrew. It was an annexation bill. There's a big difference between honoring a request made by one of your local towns when you're a local legislator and voting for a stimulus package that, incidentally, I would have never voted for, and I would have opposed other Republicans who voted for it. Senator Hagan voted for it, and now we know that at least $390,000 has gone to the family business. I didn't intend to bring that up tonight, but since Senator Hagan mentioned that I voted for it, how on earth could I vote for it? I'm not running for the Senate. When I'm there next year, if a stimulus bill comes up, I will guarantee you I will oppose anybody who continues to waste money and run up deficits as Senator Hagan has now, almost an $18 trillion deficit. Then Senator Hagan's got to account for the decision she made and the benefit that her family had. I'll leave that to the voters to decide.
Do you think she voted for it knowing she would profit, sir?
I doubt it. Okay. But the real question is the judgment after you make a vote. Okay. Should you really have actually taken that extra step to have your family benefit from it?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Haugh, your response, 30 seconds.
Well, I think we really just sort of need to get to the root at it instead of the bickering charges back and forth, and really look at how this kind of situation could possibly arise to begin with. And it's simply because Washington claims to have control over every aspect of our daily lives, and that makes it easy for these special interests to come in and try to set regulations their way, so it's a lot easier for them to be able to profit, and everybody else has to pay that bill for them.
Senator Hagan, response, 30 seconds.
You know, Speaker Tillis did vote at the state level to accept Recovery Act tax credits in North Carolina. And once again, this is a ludicrous attack, hypocritical, that he is attacking me on when he, too, an investment of his, benefited directly from that.
Thank you. Speaker Tillis, 30-second response.
Senator Hagan voted for the stimulus package. I would have voted against it. Senator Hagan's family benefited directly, not through an indirect investment of some business that they may have invested in. That may have occurred, too. Directly through a family-owned business, $390,000. It's another example of crony capitalism. I agree with Sean. These are the kinds of practices that need to be ended. That's why I was opposed to the stimulus bill, because billions of dollars were wasted. We didn't build roads with it. We upfitted buildings to make them more energy efficient. We needed to create jobs with that money. Taxpayer dollars went to waste, and our deficit grew as a result, and Senator Hagan voted for that.
Thank you, sir. Senator Hagan, your response first to the next question, ma'am.